Have you ever felt like your life is slowly being written by someone else's hands? Like the chapters of your story are no longer yours, quietly edited, rearranged, and signed by people who never even asked for permission? Somewhere along the way, you stopped being the main character in your own life and started playing supporting roles in everyone else's. A parent's fixer, a friend's safety net, a sibling's referee. But here's the truth. The older we get, the heavier the invisible expectations become. Responsibilities, guilt, emotional debts that no one ever formally asked you to carry. But you still do. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what happens when the world around you keeps asking you to become everything except that? In this video, we're going to talk about 5 requests no one should ever make of you. Not your family, not your friends, not even the people you love most. Because anything that demands your peace, your identity, or your soul's energy is too expensive to keep. Let's begin. Picking up burdens that aren't yours. There comes a time when you finally realize not every problem needs your hands on it. You stop rushing in to rescue, to fix, to hold things together that were never yours to begin with. And yet, people will keep asking. You say yes once just to be kind, and suddenly it becomes a pattern. You become the glue that holds everyone else's life together, even as your own starts to crack. You tell yourself it's compassion. But what it really is exhaustion in disguise, because caring doesn't mean carrying. And the longer you carry what isn't yours, the further you drift from your own life. You're not a safety net, not a backup plan, and certainly not the permanent repair service for other people's chaos. Protect your peace. It's not selfish. It's sacred. Lending money that doesn't come from emergency. It comes from guilt. There's a specific silence that happens right after someone you love asks for money. Not because they're desperate, but because they've made reckless choices. And now they expect you to fix them. It's that heavy pause filled with guilt and unspoken pressure. You're my father. You're my sister. You have to help. But do you? When you've spent decades building stability, every dollar you have represents something deeper. Your safety, your effort, your peace of mind. And when that's taken from you through manipulation, it doesn't just drain your account, it drains your spirit. People often call it a loan. But it's really an exchange of accountability, your peace traded for their irresponsibility. And when you finally say no, you become the villain. But remember, generosity without boundaries becomes self-erasure. You've earned the right to protect your financial peace. You've earned the right to say, "I've done enough." Being the mediator in other people's wars, family conflict is like gravity. It always pulls you in, even when you're trying to stay out. Mom, talk to him. Dad, fix things with her. Suddenly, you're the emotional referee in a battle you never agreed to join. But here's the thing. Some wars aren't yours to end. And the moment you step in, you become the scapegoat when peace doesn't return. You get blamed, drained, and caught in the middle, while everyone else walks away lighter. Imagine siblings fighting over your house before you're even gone. A place you see as sacred, now turned into a battlefield of pride and entitlement. And you're expected to keep the peace? To make everyone happy? No, that's not your role anymore. You've earned the right to peace, not participation in endless emotional wars. Let them fight their own battles. You are no one's emotional punching bag. Not anymore. Being asked to change who you are, one of the most subtle forms of control, sounds like a harmless comment. You shouldn't wear that. Don't listen to that. People your age shouldn't do that. But what they're really saying is, stop being you. That's not love. That's control dressed in concern. Every habit, every story, every preference you've built is a fingerprint of your soul. You've spent decades becoming this version of yourself. You don't owe anyone an edit, a rewrite, or a personality update just to make them comfortable. You are not outdated. You are evolved. And the desire to stay true to yourself isn't stubbornness. It's survival. Because when you start shaving off pieces of yourself to fit in, eventually there's nothing left to recognize. You are not difficult. You are simply rooted, and that's your power. prioritizing their emotions over your own. This is the most invisible form of emotional manipulation. When someone expects you to shrink your happiness just to protect their comfort. If you really loved me, you'd do this. Please, just don't make me feel uncomfortable. But that's not love. That's emotional control. They're not asking for understanding. They're asking for obedience. And when you live your life constantly adjusting yourself to avoid upsetting others, you slowly disappear. Your peace, your dreams, your identity, all sacrificed to maintain someone else's comfort zone. But peace built on constant sacrifice isn't peace. It's quiet suffering. You are not here to walk on eggshells through your own life. You're here to live, to feel, to be fully yourself. And if that makes someone else uncomfortable, that's their mirror to face, not yours. These 5 requests, responsibility, money, mediation, self-erasure, and emotional servitude, all have one thing in common. They chip away at your peace until you no longer recognize your own reflection. So ask yourself, who has been making these requests of you? And more importantly, why have you been saying yes? You are not obligated to be a lifeline, a therapist, or a financial safety net. You are allowed to protect your boundaries, your time, and your soul. Because the moment you decide to protect your peace, your life begins to realign with who you truly are. This is not selfishness. This is clarity. This is freedom. If this message spoke to you, write the word intact in the comments. It lets me know you made it to the end, fully present, fully aware, and committed to protecting your peace. And if this brought you value, consider subscribing and sharing this video with someone who needs to hear these words. Because the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is the very thing that sets us free. Until next time, protect your peace. It's the most valuable thing you own.